Read in 1 Chronicles chapter 8 in the King James Version. Now Benjamin begat Bela, his firstborn, Ashbel the second, and Arah the third. Arah the third. Nohah the fourth, Rapha the fifth. And the sons of Bela were Adar, and Gera, and Abihud, and Abishua, and Naaman, and Ahoah, and Gera, and Shephufan, and Huram. And these are the sons of Ehud. These are the heads of the fathers of the inhabitants of Geba, and they removed them in Menahath. And Naaman and Ahai and Gera, he removed them, and begat Uzzah and Ehud. And Shaharaim begat children in the country of Moab, after he had sent them away. Husham and Bara were his wives. And he begat Hodesh, his wife, Jobab, and Zibiah, and Misha, and Malcolm, and Jeuz, and Shekiah, and Mirmah. These were his sons, heads of the fathers. And of Husham he begat Abitub, and Elpal, the sons of Elpal, Eber, and Misham, and Shemed, who built Ono, and Lod, with the towns thereof. Beri, also Shema, who were heads of the fathers of the inhabitants of Ajalon, who drove away the inhabitants of Gath, and Ahio, Sheshach, and Jeremoth, and Zebediah, and Arad, and Adar, and Michael, and Ispa, and Joah, the sons of Beri, and Zebediah, and Meshullam, and Hezekiah, and Heber, Ishmerai, also, and Jazli, and Jobab, the sons of Elpal, and Jachim, and Zikri, and Zabdi, and Elianing, and Zilthai, and Eliel, and Adiah, and Beri, and Shimrath, the sons of Shimhi, and Ishpan, and Heber, and Eliel, and Abdon, and Zikri, and Hanan, and Hananiah, and Elam, and Antothijah, and Iphidiah, and Peniel, the sons of Shishak, and Shimshirai, and Shehariah, and Athaliah, and Jersiah, and Eli, and Zikri, the sons of Jorham. These were heads of the fathers, by their generations, chief men. These dwelt in Jerusalem. And at Gibeon dwelt the father of Gibeon, whose wife's name was Maacah, and his firstborn son Abdon, and Zur, and Kish, and Baal, and Nadab, and Gedor, and Ahio, and Zachar, and Milcloth begat Shemiah, and these also dwelt with their brethren in Jerusalem over against them. And Ner begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul, and Saul begat Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Abinadab, and Eshbaal. And the sons of Jonathan was Mirabal, and Mirabal begat Micah. And the sons of Micah were Pithon, and Melech, and Tari, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begat Jehoiada, and Jehoiada begat Elameth, and Asmaveth, and Zimri begat Moza, and Moza begat Beniah. Rapha was his son, Eleasah his son, Azel his son. And Azel had 6 sons, whose names are these: Azrikam, Bachuru, and Ishmael, and Shariah, and Obadiah, and Hanan. All these were the sons of Azel. And the sons of Eshek his brother were Elam his firstborn, Jehush the second, and Eliphalet the third. And the sons of Ulam were mighty men of valor, archers, and had many sons and sons, 150. All these are the sons of Benjamin. Okay, once again, a lot. Verse 33. And Ner begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul, and Saul begat Jonathan, Melchishua, and Abinadab, and Ishbaal. So again, Saul was, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, the first king of Israel. And then his son, Jonathan. And Jonathan, remember, like David, because they were similar in spirit. They were God-fearing. They believed in the Lord. They also had faith in the Lord. So part of God-fearing, what is fear of the Lord? Knowing that he's all power, all holy, all glory, the good shepherd, the redeemer, the provider of our salvation. He is the Holy One. He is the only God. And knowing who he is, and then having faith that he is the good shepherd, that he only wants what's good for us. He believed, and he saw that in David. And David saw that in Jonathan. And so Jonathan knew that David was going to reign eventually as well, because he knew that over time that his father, through tests, his own test as well, and own scenes of how his father was reacting, was starting not to follow the Lord's direction and starting not to, and it was showing. And so this is really important for us to learn and understand what these genealogies are and what this means. So we're getting reintroduced to Saul and his son Jonathan, bringing past to present. Again, thinking about how things could end up. That is something that Solomon will talk to us when we get to Ecclesiastes about. And if you went through the NIV version, when we worry about tomorrow, sometimes we do some things in life and we start worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. So much so that we plan, we plot, we try to do everything we can to prevent anything negative or bad to happening, whether it's food, whether it's having toilet paper, whether it's having a good relationship, a good rapport, doing work ahead of time or planning for things to be done. We try to do as much as we think is possible to control what happens in the future, and particularly tomorrow, the next day. Tomorrow, as we know, as we read, and if you read in the NIV version with us, is always uncertain. We don't know what could happen at any time. And not necessarily do we have to look at that in a morbid way. We can look at it as in shocks and surprises. A long-lost friend shows up at the door. You planned on this retreat and you end up going on a vacation of a lifetime. Sometimes that's how relationships start. You had no idea that you were going to run into your future so-and-so. We try to plan as much as possible to the point where are we lying to ourselves and not relying on the Lord? Because realistically, when we say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do these things. When tomorrow's not even guaranteed. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?